Hello, Fellow-litas. I'm Elvira, and I am a 6-foot-tall, plus-size, and swole Lolita. And today's video is going to be a little bit different from my usual. Every hobbyist collector knows that the pricey stuff they love to collect is an investment to a certain degree. And in every collection-based hobby, from vintage dolls and hot rods to stamps, coins, or sitcom memorabilia, there is this unifying concept of emergency sales. Shit happens in our lives, and sometimes we need the money more than we need the items that make us happy. Money can buy happiness. It also can buy security. Sometimes we need to save a beloved pet, or pay for an unexpected move, or vehicle repair, or, as in my case, cover some medical bills. First of all, I want to reassure you that I am okay. I've been getting a lot of testing done to diagnose a chronic issue that I've had, and instead of eating into the savings my spouse and I have been putting away to buy a new house, I decided it would be better for me to just sell off some of my Lolita wardrobe to cover the costs. This isn't the first time, nor will it be the last time, that I'll have to do something like this. Back in 2016, I sold off more than half of my wardrobe at the time to pay for my cat Malcolm to have a surgery. In 2017, I sold a couple dresses to help my friend recover from the California wildfires. Every time it has been difficult, but every time it has been worth it. This decision is never easy. Our collections are precious. Some of us have worked for years to find and afford each and every piece we have collected. So how does one go about tackling this kind of project? How do you decide what you want to part with when you need to part with something? Today, I'd like to show you my process, in the hopes that if you ever find yourself in a similar position, and have to make some tough choices yourself, you might have an easier time of it knowing some tips and tricks that have helped me. If you've heard of the Marie Kondo method or have read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, guess what? Some of this is going to seem very familiar. To start with, go ahead and grab yourself a snack, make sure you have a water bottle handy, and change into something comfortable to move and lift things in. You don't want to go into this process in a bad state of mind. You need to be focused and comfortable in order to make your best decisions. When you're ready, designate a place to arrange the things that you are sorting through away from your main closet, as it will be easier to see everything in one place without the things you know you want to keep cluttering things up. For me, I'm lucky to have a big, sturdy squat rack in my living room that also doubles as a drying rack for my laundry, but it is also the perfect clothing rack for assessing my collection. If you don't have a way to hang things up, I recommend laying a clean sheet out on your floor and making organized piles of the items you need to look through. Next, go through your closet and pull out anything you aren't 100% sure you are going to keep. There are dresses and blouses I reach for super frequently, things I've got specific plans for in the near future, such as events that are going to come up before the end of the year, and things that hold special memories for me that are worth hanging on to because the amount of money I could get for them is not going to be worth what they are to me in hand. Regardless of the reason, if you're keeping it, you don't need to justify that to me, yourself, or anyone else for that matter. Whatever is left over once I pulled those aside is already in danger of being sold. For me, it helps to tackle things in waves, starting with dresses and blouses that I know don't fit me well, because fitting my body is one of the most important things to me, as I talk about all the time on this channel. If I've gained a lot of weight since I last wore something or tried it on, or if it was definitely too big or ill-fitting or too small and weird on my frame and I meant to modify it or save it for a day when I might need it for something, it's on the chopping block, depending on confirmation of whether or not it will fit me currently. Next, I pull out things that still have tags on them, or things I bought used but have never worn and it's been a while since I got them. I also pull out things I haven't reached for in a while, say a year. If I bought it new and I haven't reached for it in over a year and it still has tags, it's definitely a contender for sale, since clearly it has not been my priority to wear it, and it's in great condition, which makes it very resellable. This includes the things I've been keeping forever, like dream dresses, some that I've been holding on to for years. If you're like me, you might even still have something in the plastic outer packaging or box that it was shipped in. Make sure you take it out of this packaging to evaluate it. You'll need to take it out for proof pics if you wind up selling it anyway, and if you don't sell it, it'll help you confirm if you want to keep it. Lastly, I look at my collection for redundancy. Do I have the same dress in multiple colors colorways? Do I have 2 dresses of similar enough styles that they're essentially interchangeable in my wardrobe? If so, do I have a clear favorite that is the obvious choice to keep between them? If I'm still on the fence, I bring all of the options out to review. One good example of this was the 4 different colors of CC Cat's rainbow dollhouse that I had, 3 of which were still in their bags. After taking them out and holding them up, I could tell that the yellow and the mint were not as flattering on my skin tone as the pink and the black. So, knowing that I had 2 really good options that I would likely reach for over the other ones, made it easy to decide to keep the pink and the black and put the yellow and mint in my for sale box. Now at this point, you should have handled every single major piece of your wardrobe. And because of that, you should have some feeling of how much joy each item brings you, just holding it in your hands, looking at it, reminiscing about it, or dreaming of a future time you will wear it. Spend another moment sorting through the stuff that you've pulled out and separate things by type. Divide up your dresses by OP or JSK, your blouses by length or whether they are cut sews or something that pulls on over the head versus something that needs to button. If you've got skirts, accessories, socks, shoes, anything that you've been trying to decide between, put them in their own space before you evaluate them. And here's where the KonMari method comes in. If after touching everything in jeopardy to this point, you can pinpoint some pieces that don't make your heart sing as much as some of the others, in other words, if they don't spark joy for you compared to the other stuff on your rack, it should be the first thing you cut. It'll be easier to give up if you're not super overly attached to it. Next, I recommend taking the time to try wearing everything that is still in question. This is especially important for Lolitas who experienced weight gain or weight loss during the pancetta. Does it still go onto your body? If so, does it fit in quotation marks or does it fit with exclamation points? And if it does fit, do you even like the way it looks on you? Personally, if it won't go over my body, period, it's for sale. Easy peasy. I don't need to hold on to things that make me feel even 1 iota of bad or inadequate about my body. If it looks bad, same thing. I don't need to change myself to fit the dress, and I don't have the energy to modify any item to fit me. For this round, I started with the OPs. Since I know that my shoulders and bust have been getting bigger as I keep wrestling training up, they'd be the most likely to stop fitting me. For me, this was actually the most heart-wrenching part of my wardrobe to contend with, and I usually don't recommend starting with the things that are hardest for you to go through, but in my case, the fit made it clear to me what my decisions should be. Some of these pieces were the longest held and most precious pieces I had in my wardrobe, like my Hey Newly OPs, some from as far back as 2014 when I had just started collecting. Some of them held amazing memories, but from a time when I was much smaller, had me questioning if I could still fit into them. Hey Newly's original 2014 Angel of Music OP in white still fit, and putting it on made me feel just as wonderful as it did the first time I wore it out to a meetup. It was a keep for me. The For Juliet OP from 2015, on the other hand, no longer fit me as well as I had remembered. It felt like I couldn't get it placed correctly on my body, like it was too short through the bodice and the skirt, and I couldn't get the sleeves to cooperate with my shoulders, which had only gotten more broad since I last wore it. Even though I had discovered my favorite band of all time while wearing it to a concert on a date with my spouse, I knew I'd likely never wear it again, and so I decided to sell it. The 2018 Hey Newly Angel of Music OP in black was my dream dress. I bought it immediately on the original release and dreamed of wearing it on a trip to Venice that never came to be during the pandemic. I'd been collecting pieces for it for years that I could wear and coordinate with this dress, but try as I might, I had to come to grips with the fact that it no longer zipped up on me. This was truly heartbreaking, as this had been such a precious dream dress to me, and this was the very largest size that existed. There would be no way that I could get into this dress unless I lost a significant amount of weight. The pain of it not fitting was bad enough to make putting it in the box a little bit easier. I feel awful that I missed my chance to wear it when I could have. I chose to save it for an occasion that would never come. But I know that it's a rare dress and very sought after, especially to Hey Newly collectors and plus-size Lolitas who are just getting into the fashion and missed their chance to buy this sort of thing when the brand was more active. So hopefully selling it off would make somebody else's dream come true. And that gave me a little comfort. And immediately after experiencing that disappointment, I tried on another Hey Newly OP that I treasure, the Starlight of Serenity short puff sleeve OP, and seeing how well it fit me was a major consolation. Or should I say, constellation prize. The last OPs up on my chopping block were these two solid red OPs. This is another example of finding a redundancy in my wardrobe. These two are very similar shades of red, two similar cuts in that they both don't require a blouse, and there are only so many occasions I will want to reach for a solid red OP in my life. I'd have to choose between them eventually anyway, when one of those occasions occurred. My instinct was to keep the longer sleeved version because I liked the style and the color more, and plus it was Burando and part of an iconic video that really helped launch my YouTube channel. But I wanted to decide this one based on the fit, since OPs can be a little bit tricky when you're plus size. When I wore it for my video, I was super in love with this red princess sleeved Atelier Pierrot OP. But aside from that brief try-on to review it, I never wore it, and it still had its tags. Back then, it was already tight in the biceps and the bust wasn't sitting quite naturally on me, so I was concerned that it wouldn't go on my body at all anymore. It did still fit, but the issues I had with it back in March of 2021 were only exacerbated by my bigger bust and biceps now. This YGS Lolita dress that I bought from a Taobao reseller, on the other hand, fit me really well. In spite of never having worn it out, only trying it on over and over and over again in my bedroom, it was clearly the right choice for me to keep between the two, since the fit was so much more comfortable and the bright red really looked nice on my skin tone. Next, I moved on to my JSKs. I threw on my most generic base top, the Target Cottage Core blouse, and started with the unworn and untried on meta dresses on the pile to confirm that they were indeed worth keeping. The green plaid winter special set JSK fit me like a dream and gave me my every private school uniform fantasy. Keeping it was a no-brainer, and I'm really gonna love wearing this one once the weather cools off again. The meta green floral jacquard flared dress looks a little funky with a pure white blouse, and it definitely needs to have the straps fixed and the buttons moved down a bit for my body, but even with the weirdness, I could tell that once adjusted, it would be my go-to floral dress choice. It is so dreamy. Both of those were an easy keep. Somehow, I missed trying on this leopard print round JSK, and I didn't know if it would suit me, so that's why it's here. I just had to double check. But holy moly, does it suit me. There is no way I want to sell this one. Plus, look at how well it matches Malcolm! He agrees, I shouldn't sell it, probably ever, even if it's a weird outlier in my wardrobe and cringy to some Lolitas. Next on the chopping block was the Leaf 10th Anniversary Ribbon JSK in Apricot. I love the unique color of this dress and the print, and I kind of paid out the nose to have it imported from Korea. Sadly, the JSK has non-adjustable straps and a side zipper, and that just generally makes it less size flexible and possibly too small for me at my current size. When I tried it on, it didn't fit me as great as it used to, but I still loved the way it looked on me. After being on the fence for a while, I decided to try selling it, but with a reserve price. Lacemarket doesn't have this feature built in, I wish it did, but eBay and other auction-style sites usually do. I will only part with this dress if the price truly feels worth it to me, and to do that I will start with a higher than average minimum bid on Lacemarket, and I will not lower the starting bid price if it expires without any bidders. I think with the rest of the dresses I have for sale, I should be able to cover my bills without taking a lowball offer for this one that I'll regret later. The Polly's Garden of Dreams JSK by Baby Ponytail here was a very similar case. But while it was hard to put on my own and definitely tighter than it used to be on me, it was also definitely a keep. Why, you might ask? Well, the moment I got that zipper closed, I felt just as giddy as the first time I tried it on, prancing around my living room. I think with a different bra, it would also be a much better fit. And even if it's not, there's really no price you can put on feeling like a fairy princess. At this point, I had quite a lot for sale, but a few more dresses to go through. So I figured if I couldn't find any others to move along, that would be okay. This Hey Newly Beauty and the Beast JSK was a no-brainer to keep. I've never worn it, and I got it used with its tag still intact. I hunted forever for this print, and that zipper went up so easily. It's just such a satisfying feeling for a plus-size Lolita on the cusp of most brands' limits to have an easy zipper experience. The Hey Newly Whipped Cream Kitty was another one that needed a fit check. I hadn't worn it since I gained weight, and it's the smaller of the two sizes produced by the brand. It's definitely my dream dress, but one that I would absolutely sell if I could find the bigger size or a different cut or color, or I outgrew this one. But luckily, even a bit tight, this one is still comfortable enough to be worth holding on to. And last but not least was my final dress that I hadn't opened before this closet cleaning project, the Wandering Spirit JSK by Hey Newly and Moss Badger in the black and white colorway. The Galaxy Purple version of this dress fits me so well and is such a favorite of mine, so that was a definite keep. And back when the brand still had some extras available, I took the opportunity to buy this alternate color scheme to coordinate on the days when I wanted to be less colorful or go for something monochromatic. I told myself going into this that I should probably sell it since I hadn't opened it up since I bought it, but trying it on made me brim with joy. And with Halloween just around the corner, I knew I'd have plenty of time to prioritize wearing it for the season, especially with several spooky and gothic prints being taken out of my wardrobe through this process. And just like that, I was done. My overpacked wardrobe had 26 dresses that I wasn't sure about, and I narrowed it down to 12 dresses that I am keeping, 14 that I am selling, and a handful of blouses, skirts, bloomers, and accessories that I could move along as well. Those 14 dresses should more than cover my expenses once sold, and give me the flexibility to only take the offers that make sense and keep any dresses that I might still be connecting to. And I hope that the dresses I give up in this round of closet cleaning will find homes with plus-size Lolitas who will cherish and love them like they deserve. This was a difficult process, but ultimately very satisfying. While I hope you never find yourself in a position to have to make the kind of decisions I have just made, I do hope that you found this video informative, and if, God forbid, something were to happen and you needed to make some sales and make some decisions quickly, I hope that you can use some of the methods I've described here to make your life a little easier when that happens. Thank you so much for watching this very atypical video. Please check out my lace market if you see something you want to give a home to. It's linked in the description. Or if you want to help me out financially without breaking the bank or bringing another dress home, please check out the Mira Mira Me shop link that is also in the description. I have a lot of crafts that I have created and they need homes too at a much lower price point. For more videos and info on these dress offerings, please also check out my Instagram at ElliViraWrestling and enjoy my shoddy attempts at making reels. I am not good at this, but I am trying. Thanks for watching this video all the way till the end, and I hope your summer is coming to a happy close. Stay healthy. Bye!